Hello, everyone. My name is Bruce Douglas. I am Program Director for the Healthcare Data and Analytics Association. Welcome to HDAA Insights, a conversation about careers in healthcare analytics. In this series, you'll hear from the people who actually perform and manage the work. Our panelists represent a cross-section of organizations from around the country: academic medical centers, integrated health systems, physician practices, and community health groups. They represent a variety of roles, from engineers, analysts, and data scientists to managers and chief data officers. Today in this series, we're going to focus on a day in the life of healthcare analysts: what we do, the data we work with, how we interact with our organizations. Alyssa, Amy, Dan, and Janae, thank you for speaking with us. I'll let each of you introduce yourself if you like. As we kick these things off with the first question. Alyssa, if you don't mind, I will start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself if you'd like, and just give us an idea of what a typical day, if there is such a thing, looks like for you and your team.
Sure. Thanks, Bruce. Hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa Malcolm. I'm the director of a department called Value Reporting and Analytics for Dartmouth Health. We are an academic system in New Hampshire, anchored in New Hampshire, but we have sites in Vermont as well. And so my team primarily focuses on quality, safety, clinical reporting and analysis. So I come at it from that angle for sure. And so you want like the 2-minute version of the day in the life, Bruce?
We can start there.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, we are 100% remote now, which we have been since the beginning of the pandemic, but we converted all our roles, so we will stay this way. And so, things have changed quite a bit for us. So every morning we huddle at 9 in a venue just like this. There are 15 people on my team plus me. And so we get a chance to ask each other questions, just see each other's faces. Once a week, we go around and say, what are my priorities for the week? And then at the end of the week, hey, did you get done what you had hoped to? But we help support basically quality improvement and safety work across our system. And so that includes a lot of talking with our clinical and administrative partners about what it is that they are working on and their goals and objectives. But it also means that we're spending a lot of time digging around. We're an Epic organization, so digging around in the database that Epic dumps into every night, which is our primary sort of bread and butter to do both data extraction, and then we do a lot of data visualization and analysis as well with a variety of tools. So I'll stop there.
Okay, all right. Dan, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Dan Ryan. I'm the manager of business analytics at Riverside Healthcare, which is a health system about an hour south of Chicago. We have a single hospital, skilled nursing facility, multiple outpatient campuses. Our service area really spans from the South Chicago suburbs down into rural central Illinois. So we kind of got a very diverse service area and patient base across that entire market area. In my role, we're another Epic system, and my team is over basically all aspects of reporting and analytics at the hospital. So this includes operational tools, pulling data out of the Epic system, and then further downstream analysis and development for strategic planning, market analysis, other data sources that go beyond just your clinical data within Epic. We're also over the analytics infrastructure, which includes the ETL processes, that's extract, transform, load, pulling data out of your operational systems, putting it into your reporting systems. We manage the infrastructure of the databases, do database administration for all of that stuff. We develop a lot of automation workflows for moving data both internally and externally. So as a health system, there's a lot of regulatory data submissions that you have to manage. There's a lot of external vendors that folks have built relationships with that we have to send data to. And so all of that responsibility, especially as we're a relatively small health system, small Epic customer, all of that responsibility falls under the scope of my team. Something else that we work on and we're building right now is a data governance program, which is designed to improve the quality of data, the documentation, use of information, make us a better organization in terms of how we use data. Day in the life, my alarm clock typically goes off at about 6 a.m. I snooze it 2 or 3 times. That might be too detailed. But a typical day in the life is similar to what Alyssa was saying. We have a morning, we call it code huddle meeting. So it serves as, we do 4 days a week, serves as a team check-in. I have, my team is total 9 people, where we take a look at the current requests for report development that are in a review status. And so then we do a code review where we take a look at the SQL code, walk through the logic, talk through validation plans for the content that we're producing, review documentation. And then, so that's a daily check-in with my team. From there, it's all over the place. So I report directly to the CIO. So meeting with the CIO, setting longer-term priorities, checking in on projects. I meet with a lot of people. So I do a lot of outreach to operational leaders. I have monthly meetings with most of the directors and VPs in the organization to make sure that their needs are being met. They understand where they're getting information. And then another huge aspect of my job is doing stuff like this, reaching out to folks at other organizations, making sure that I'm staying abreast of trends in the industry. I have like 4 calls a week with people from Epic, so folks dedicated to our organization, and then other more broad kind of advisory groups looking at what we want to do next with the platform. A cool thing about Riverside is we actually have an open source project that we developed for report cataloging and documentation that has been adopted by several other health systems around the country. So I also interact quite a bit with other people like me at other health systems that are using the software that we're working on collaboratively. So that's a short-ish description.
Right. Janae, I'll let you go next. You're from my old stomping grounds at Emory. So nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Bruce. Hi, everyone. I'm Janae Logan. I'm a data analyst too at Emory Healthcare in the Emory Healthcare Network Analytics Department. A typical day in the life for us, we do have a weekly huddle on Mondays, like mid-afternoon, where we'll meet with the medical economics team and discuss reports amongst both of us that we're working on in conjunction together. We are currently transitioning from Cerner to Epic, so we are gearing up for training, Epic training, starting this month, and we're very excited about that. We typically have a few calls during the week with Epic. I'm in the population health work group meeting, and I just became a part of the clinical data steward meeting, so I'm excited about all that's coming with Epic. Our reporting, it really depends on if we're in the middle of a data refresh from our data vendor. And right now we're in the middle of a refresh, so we're just like in a holding pattern. But typically when we have our data refresh, we like to update our attribution count because we manage our populations across all the payers like Aetna, Cigna, Humana, United Healthcare, MSSP. So we manage all those populations and we create gap reports for MSSP. We do our meta adherence report for the Aetna EE population, which is our employed population for Emory. So we typically do a lot of our reporting manually, but now that we're transitioning to Epic, some of that will be mitigated and put into Epic where we can just push the button and get our report out. Yeah, so our typical day-to-day is changing right now.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, MSSP is Medicare Shared Savings Program, so that it's the government payer. That's part of the data stream that Janae and her team work with. All right.
Yeah.
Amy, last but not least, your turn.
Far from least. I'm Amy Gallick. I am the analytics manager at Integrated Services of Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's a real city. We are the public mental health authority for our county. So I wanted to come and represent public mental health. Definitely a different area of the healthcare sector, but I love it. And I love doing analytics in public mental health. I think my day-to-day has been changing a lot, like Janae's. So when I started, I was the first data analyst at ISK that had ever had a title related to analytics. So I think in general, probably mental health, by just being a little more under-resourced and also generally having smaller agencies, probably a little earlier in the analytics journey generally than a lot of hospital systems or academic systems. So I'm now the analytics manager. I've been a team of one the whole time until this week. We became a team of two. I hired one person.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Much of my day has been spent trying to figure out what an analytics department should even do in a public mental health agency. So I've done a huge variety of stuff. Some of it can barely even be called analytics. I organized and coordinated our community health needs assessment, a smaller version of something that hospitals do on a big scale. I don't think that normally would come from your analytics, business intelligence type people, but no one else was going to do it at ISK, and it had like a little bit of data in it. So I just offered to take it on, and it worked out. I do a lot of, nowadays, I do a lot of coding, pulling reports like other people have said, because we're a little earlier in the analytics maturity, kind of scale. There's a lot of ad hoc, one-time pulls, don't have a lot of systems set up where people can self-service their data or anything, but my job is really dynamic day to day. And I guess that's where I'll start.
And as all of you in the audience can tell just from this sample of 4, there is not a single description of what a healthcare analyst do. It's driven by the size of the organizations, their particular focus, the types of data that are at their disposal. But a common theme, and I'm stepping on my soapbox here a little bit, is that it's really interesting data.